1 billion years. That is a long ass time, and a lot of things can change in that time. What's even more amazing though, is how quickly something can change in such a little time. A few examples. Music. The sound and style has changed drastically since its first conception, from musicians playing instruments to electronic noise and people who can't sing. Toy soldiers, from plastic moulds of men to nightmarish creatures for everyone to enjoy. And of course, video games. From a simple game of tennis for two on radar equipment to virtual reality, all in the space of 62 years. Despite these quick changes, none of them match up to evolution. An interesting subject to learn and also a theme for quite a few games and popularised by the Pokemon series. Not all games use this theme well, and some can take it to an extreme. However, the KISS rule is often the best rule when approaching a theme as complicated as evolution, and one of the best games to do this is E.V.O, The Search for Eden on Super Nintendo. It's a 2D RPG adventure game where you play as a creature adapting to its environments and exploring the world in its attempts to reach Eden. There's also a plot that involves talking stars. Yep, I said that. About 4.6 billion years ago, the Sun had 9 children. The third was named Gaia. The Sun informs Gaia that once every billion years, she will bear children, called life, and one of those children will help her build a new era. In order to make this happen, the chosen child will need to pass a trial of survival, and should they pass, the child will be able to enter Eden with Gaia. Fast forward 3 billion years, and it's the start of the game. Gaia reveals herself to you and informs you of the trial. She tells you it's taken you 3 billion years to become a fish, and hope you'll pass the trial. Chapter 1, 500 to 450 million BC, before cheese. Your first moment of control has you placed in the ocean as this little guy. A fiddle with the buttons will reveal that you can swim in all directions with the D-pad, X makes you eat food you find, and Y lets you bite enemies. These controls will evolve over time, as will your creature. For now though, this is all you have in terms of abilities. Future features will include being able to jump with a B button and double tapping a direction to dash. On the first screen you encounter your first dangerous foe, jellyfish. Anyone playing this game will notice there is sometimes a fatal flaw to the combat in this game. Touching an enemy hurts you, which doesn't help because you have to bite them in order to hurt them. It also doesn't help that the bite attack has a small lunge to it, so if you're too close to the enemy and you bite them, you'll get hurt straight away once your attack ends. This has always been a pet peeve of mine where your basic attack puts you at high risk of being damaged. Not to mention with no invincibility period after you take damage makes it even worse. Defeating an enemy makes them turn into meat on the bone, okay? Which you can eat along with plant life to get health back, but also gain evolution points. Clearing out the first screen of jellyfish gives you enough points to get you your first evolution, though if you'd like to, you can go back and forth to make the enemies respawn and keep farming points. Pressing select opens up your player menu. Here you can access your evolutions, your current stats and your evolution history. In the evolution menu you can choose what part of your body you want to evolve, and you'll be given a series of options to choose from with varying prices. You might think the more expensive, the better, but it's not strictly true. Each evolution changes your stats in different ways. Some will make you faster, others make you tougher, some might give you a new attack and abilities, and some are only temporary. There will be a lot of experimentation and grinding in order for you to find your perfect creature for your playstyle. And using your stats and history screen you can keep track of what you did and didn't like. The cartoon-like graphics do help with the harsh reality that you are killing creatures both aggressive and passive to make yourself stronger so you can go to paradise, you monster. Obviously the effort has gone into the creatures more than the background. The backgrounds are pretty basic, though sometimes they feature something unique, and several elements reused over and over. But all the creatures look different and aren't just reskins, each creature has its own design. These may not be the best graphics you could get during this era of gaming, but they suit the purpose and the cartoon style does complement the backgrounds very well. Reaching the end of the level advances you to the next section, where you may encounter new dangers, locations to farm for evolution points, and maybe the local life will give you tips about evolution and plot detail. The Angler's Horn attracts enemies because of its light. Thank you, Sea Cucumber. That was helpful. Now get in my belly. You may also find caves that you can explore. Inside, you'll find things you can eat to heal and gain evolution points, or sometimes these orbs. Gobbling down these balls will reveal information and tips for your adventure. This one in particular tells you information about each of your body parts. Evolving your jaws increases your bite strength. Body makes you more defensive. Horns increases attack power. Hand, feet, dorsal fin and tail will increase your HP, agility and strength. Be warned though, as evolving one part of your body may decrease the stats of another. Will you be big and bulky to tank hits, or will you be small and agile? These are all decisions you will have to make in order to survive and adapt. Just don't be too precious with your current form, as it will need to change in order to overcome the challenges ahead of you. Death is not the end, however. Every death, Gaia will revive you and take some of your EP. Although she will ask not to tell her father that you have been revived. I'm pretty sure that's cheating, Gaia. Maybe the sun will know? Somehow? Sometimes in the caves you may also find red balls to chew on. When you eat one of these, you're temporarily transformed into a stronger animal for a short period of time. Perfect for farming the creatures in your area to evolve, so make the best of it. As you progress through the levels, they become more dangerous and can have a sharp difficulty spike. The small variety of enemies each possess their own attack methods, some of which are cheap as fucking shit. Enemies can attack you by homing in on you, surrounding you, and attacking from above, bouncing around, stabbing you, biting you in the arse. The list goes on. While it's obvious that the game will want you to evolve to handle situations like this, evolving doesn't always help, mainly due to the highly flawed combat mechanics. You can only attack forward, no tail whips, no ranged attacks, just a bite. You can get a horn which does very good damage if you ram into an enemy, but only if you're dashing or moving at the right angle. If they float into it by themselves, it does nothing, and it breaks after so many hits. If I had a tail whip to knock these enemies away, some sort of evasive move, or even something as simple as being able to attack in multiple directions, this would make the fighting so much better. But you'll get so pissed off at times because you have no choice but to take a fuck ton of damage, often resulting in death. Ooh, I would get mad because of this shit. The music would calm me down though. The music in this game can be quite atmospheric. When you first start, you get this eerie music to represent your journey into the unknown. Then it can be quite suspenseful, like a boss is coming up when there isn't one. Then it sounds like you're about to go on the jolly boat adventure with your friends. The music does, at least to me, feel like it's a bit all over the place, and doesn't always fit the situation. But the music can be relaxing and catchy. After 35 minutes of grinding and exploring the levels, I made it to the first boss of the game. The the shark bastard. Emphasis on bastard. The shark is aware of your journey and wants to stop you so it can be the ruler of the sea. The very nanosecond this text box is shut, this twat instantly bites you, and hard. He also has a tail whip. Where's my tail whip? And he's fast as fuck too. The strategy is that you need to make him charge into the wall so he gets stunned, and you can go and bite him. The problem is, as soon as you bite him, he becomes unstunned and immediately whacks you with his tail. Even if you get away in time, he's on you straight away, chaining attacks together, and you'll die almost every fucking time. And what happens when you die? Back to the start, fighting your way through every cheap shithead fuckface enemy who will likely have you weakened enough for the boss to one-shot you. What's my defense in all of this? Casually swimming out the way to trick him. If you're lucky it works, but you might be moving so slow you can't get out of the way. Or you get trapped against the wall because of his high fucking attack rate. Oh, did I mention he can swim for the background too? Fuck this shithead! He killed me 5 times because of this bullshit. But I did get lucky and discovered attacking at an angle means I could get a few hits in before he hit back. Sometimes Come on, you piss rag jaws wannabe! I'll turn you into sushi! Oh, I actually did. Ooh, that's a lot of evolution points right there. Oh, yes. I am about to top the food chain. Exiting the cave, science happens. The Strolites speak to you and tell you they've begun to make oxygen, so now we can travel on land. Swimming over the cave, we jump onto solid ground. Gaia advances our evolution forward, and now we're a walking murder fishy. For a short time. Walking to the right, Gaia gives us some history and changes our fish into a land creature. Ugh. Then uses a magic door to teleport us to the next age. 300 to 230 million BC. What a majestic creature. Oh, and as a side note, the bitch Gaia took all those evolution points we just got away. Thanks for making my achievements feel worthless, game. As you can imagine, the gameplay has now changed drastically. We can now only walk left and right, rather than swimming everywhere. We can now jump, evolution now affects our abilities differently, and our list of evolutions has changed too. If only I still had some points to see what these new things did. But that's in the past. What new exciting possibilities await us on land? Just how far does this land stretch, and what... God damn it. Well, at least these enemies actually admit they're weak, so best start killing and getting E.V.O points. Oh, this is going to take a while. Can I go back to being a fish? Life was so much simpler back then. So, what did I find on the land? Well, a few new enemies, and I got to experience a bit of evolution. Unfortunately, my hour was up, so I'm going to leave that for you to find out. In conclusion, E.V.O. The Search for Eden is a game I can describe as Marmite. You either like it or you don't. It starts off strong with the easy enemies and experimenting with different evolutions. The evolution mechanic is unique and interesting as well, but the sudden difficulty spike and the flawed combat mechanics does make this game frustrating at times. It didn't feel like I was doing much more than eating things, changing my shape and then fighting a boss, and for all I know, once we get past the land age, things could get more complicated. But that'll be for you guys to find out should you want to give it a go. So, now you've heard of it, would you play it? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching everyone, and remember, you're always welcome at the Spectrum.